25 years of European competition, so that indicates the size of the task facing Celtic tonight. There's Ramsey with the headed clearance. Bernier tackled swiftly there by Derek Whyte, wearing that unusual number 5 on his back. And Bernier, the midfield player, pushed forward from right back for the second leg. Picked up here by Fazel. He's tackled swiftly by Wdowczyk. So Celtic would obviously welcome an early goal, but manager Liam Brady's been at great pains to tell his players that goals can come in little bursts at any time in the game. So a bit of patience may be appropriate also. Bonner testing the heart of the Neuchatel defence with that long clearance. Ibrahim Hassan back helping in defence, number 10. Coyne couldn't control it. Conditions treacherous, of course, underfoot. Makes control particularly difficult. There's Ibrahim Hassan. And the free kick goes to Neuchatel. The annoyance of the Celtic supporters. Paul McStay will be a key man tonight, enjoying an excellent spell of form after his long spell out through injury. Well controlled by McStay. Tackled in midfield by Perret. Here's Joe Miller. Mike Galloway surging forward on the right as the ball is played in early. Headed away by Ramsey. It's Miller again. Very awkward one for Fernandez. He coped with that extremely well. And Celtic certainly opening up with a lot of pace and urgency. And these hustling tactics keeping Neuchatel pinned back in the opening moments. There's Mark McNally. Well headed on there by Nicholas, and a very good run inside by Collins. Questions asked of the referee by Charlie Nicholas. Collins went down. There was good cover here from the Neuchatel defence. Ramsey beaten in the air though. So a corner kick to Neuchatel. The first real attack of the match from the Swiss. And Beat Suter coming across. They'll take plenty of time about it too. There's no urgency about this from the Neuchatel point of view. They just want to settle into the match. So the short corner, allowing Suter to send over the cross. Whyte's header out. There's Fazel and Perret, the skipper. Looking for Hossam Hassan. Won there by Collins, who resisted the challenge of Hassan. Miller back to Whyte. Well, hearts in the mouth there, Billy, as Celtic had to defend for the first time.
Yes, I think the game started very openly in actual fact, Jock, and Neuchatel don't look as though they're here to defend. They look as though they're here to make a game of it.
There's Bonvin trying to send over the cross. A little defensive work required there by Paul McStay. That was very accomplished work by the Celtic skipper. Ramsey again losing out in the air. Here's Charlie Nicholas. Brought down by the keeper. The penalty's been given. Florent Delay, the goalkeeper, lunging at Charlie Nicholas. I think there'll be no doubt about this from the replay. Clearly caught by the keeper. And Celtic have the perfect early opportunity to put pressure on Neuchatel. Charlie Nicholas will take this. Celtic leading goal scorer, young Florent Delay, the 20-year-old goalkeeper, committed to that challenge, and now facing Charlie Nicholas. Well, quite incredible, that miss from Nicholas. He's scored 15 times this season. Hasn't missed from the penalty spot as yet, but that is a dreadful error by the Celtic striker.
Well, that's the kind of opportunity Celtic wanted right at the start, Jock, and I think maybe it indicates how keyed up the Celtic players are. Charlie's normally very, very calm in front of goals, and I think he was so keyed up to score there that he just took his eye off the ball entirely.
Well, the singing from the Celtic supporters indicate that Nicholas may be forgiven for that, but the long, hard road to plough now, and it's free kick to Neuchatel. McStay was penalised. An excellent move that from Celtic, which set up the chance, and once again Hanny Ramsey, the big centre back, was beaten going for a high ball, Billy. That must give Celtic some encouragement.
Yes, I think it does in actual fact, Jock, because they're not a big side and he is the dominant person at the back, and if he can't handle the high balls, I think Celtic are going to start pumping those high balls into the area to keep Neuchatel penned in there and try to play their football in their half.
Wdowczyk with the throw. There's McStay. Collins trying to go through a gap which really wasn't there. Number 2, Daniel Fazel, and Alain Vernier, the number 8, were the two players involved. There's McStay. Space on the right for McNally. The early ball played in, catching Collins offside. That offside trap sorted out by Robert Luthi. John Collins, certainly a new problem for the Neuchatel defence. Didn't play in the first leg and enjoying some good form since his recovery from injury. Oh, what a relief for the Neuchatel goalkeeper, Florent Delay, just 20 years old, but a man of immense confidence. Headed away there by Galloway. There's Miller. Here's Robert Luthi, the sweeper. Back it goes to Delay. There's Fazel. A long chase here for Hossam Hassan. Pat Bonner right to the edge of the penalty area. The linesman says that was all right. Hassan says, I think with some justification, that Bonner may have come out of his area there, but the Italian linesman was carefully scrutinised by the referee and he said it was all right. Forward from Wdowczyk. Ramsey allowing that ball to skid off the wet surface away from Tommy Coyne. Well, what effect might that penalty miss have on the Celtic morale, Billy?
Well, I don't think it matters really. They'd love to have scored, obviously, in the early minutes, but they're going to miss chances tonight, and they've got to put it behind them and get on with playing the game. One thing that concerns me just a little bit, I hope they don't start sending too many long balls forward, because this pitch is going to take them out of play.
Celtic certainly with the creative talent in the middle of the field, with McStay, O'Neill and Collins. They've opened up in a 4-3-3 formation. Midfield trio, O'Neill, McStay and Collins across the middle. And Collins has certainly been allowed to push forward wide on the left. Switching Celtic to a 4-2-4 when they have possession. The front men, Miller, Coyne and Nicholas. And these high balls through the middle certainly causing problems for the Neuchatel defence. Hanny Ramsey didn't look to be too keen to go and meet that. Wdowczyk with the throw. Derek Whyte at the back. Pat Bonner still preferring the long ball deep into the Neuchatel half from these kickouts. Headed away by Luthi. Robert Luthi, the 33-year-old veteran sweeper, holding this defence together. Played forward there by Galloway. Tommy Coyne won't get to that ahead of Walter Fernandez. And the throw goes to Neuchatel. Well, the Neuchatel coach, Roy Hodgson, the Englishman, was quite explicit before the match that he hadn't given any instruction about keeping things tight early on. He reckoned that an early goal in these circumstances would be very damaging, so he's just asked his players to maintain the good habits which they've shown for much of the season and attempt to carry out their respective duties properly. An offside flag up on the near side. The referee has now spotted that. It's a free kick to Celtic. Across it comes to Collins. Wdowczyk overlapping, taking on Fazel. That'll be a corner kick to Celtic. Powerful running there from Dariusz Wdowczyk. And another set piece for Celtic to attempt to exploit. They believe they can profit from these positions. Mike Galloway and Derek Whyte are forward. And a confident catch by the young goalkeeper. Well, he's keeping out a Swiss international in Joel Cornenberg, so he must be highly rated. White's clearance. There's McNally. Galloway operating for the moment, Whyte on the right, looking for the chance to go forward and support the attack. Galloway switching the point of the attack, finding Wdowczyk in the clear on the left. There's Collins, showing excellent close control in these difficult circumstances. So too did McStay. This is O'Neill. The play opened out now to McNally on the right with Miller ahead of him. Miller's long deep cross, Collins is there. Trying to nod that down for Coyne. There's Vernier. And Hassan was fouled, says the referee. It's a free kick to Neuchatel. Very lively customer up front, the 25-year-old Egyptian international. Hassan doing well again, getting in ahead of Wdowczyk. Here's Vernier, and Whyte was very quick in the recovery there. Stumbled awkwardly on his left ankle. That's good elusive play again by Hassan. He breaks down at the edge of the penalty area for Neuchatel, and there's O'Neill. Well read and cut off by Robert Luti. Galloway doing well also defensively for Celtic. Here's Miller and Galloway. And Luti, the sweeper, getting back to his defensive beat, manages that tackle on Galloway. So good work by Philippe Perret, the skipper for Neuchatel in midfield. Neuchatel operating with two holding midfield players in Vernier and Perret, with Suter and Ibrahim Hassan allowed to go forward and support the front two in a 4-4-2 formation. Foul throw. Celtic in possession again. Stay waiting a shade too long to release that pass. There's Suter. Over on the far side is Fernandez. Hassan tackled well by Collins. There's McStay. Careless one from Wdowczyk. Vernier stopped by Collins. Things not looking too fluent at the moment for Celtic, Billy.
No, I think all credit to the Swiss side. They've come to make a game of it, Jock, and at the moment they seem confident enough. I think the early penalty miss by Charlie Nicholas has given them an awful lot of confidence.
So the Hassan brothers, that's Ibrahim, doing some good work inside the Celtic half. Bonner with instructions for his defensive teammates, trying to ensure there are no lapses in defence. That couldn't be afforded. Well, that was a good challenge there by Mike Galloway, holding off Hassan, but there was a snap chance for Christophe Bonvin, and the big striker pulled that wide, much to Celtic's relief. And if anything, the downpour has become heavier. It's a final long wind-assisted kick out by Bonner. The referee waving play on. Looked for a moment as though he may have given a free kick for the challenge on Charlie Nicholas. Well, Nicholas will be desperate to make amends for that penalty miss in 4 minutes. Whyte's header picked up by Vernier. So a throw to Celtic, but there's certainly no sign that Neuchatel have decided to pull everyone back and defend in the early stages. They want to try and play their usual game. It's a game which has given them a couple of 1-1 draws in the league since the first leg against Celtic, against Lucerne and Zurich. And there's the score after 15 minutes, 0-0. And that's because Celtic missed the penalty very early on. The late tackle by McNally. And a free kick to Neuchatel. That breaks down the flow of the game for Celtic. The referee, I think, may insist on the Neuchatel player leaving the field of play. It is Beat Suter.
You know, Italian referees are always excellent, Jock, and I think in many ways you enjoy having them in some games. I think in this game Celtic might have preferred a softer referee who might have given into this crowd.
Referee Pareto taking a firm grip on the proceedings. Here's Bonvin, very skillful on his left side in particular, Swiss international. A long chase for Nicholas, but the ball has skidded away into touch. So Liam Brady on his feet inside the technical area, as the dugout is now called. Paul McStay playing with lots of energy in the middle of the field. Collins linking with McStay. Good angle made on the far side by Mark McNally. Determined work by Coyne. And the keeper showing a lot of confidence there, taking charge of his penalty area. Clearly calling there to Hani Ramsey to leave that to him. Coyne trying to force his way into the match. He hasn't been much in evidence so far. Bit of bumping and barging there by Ibrahim Hassan on Paul McStay. That's why the free kick goes to Celtic. There's Wdowczyk. Ryan Miller coming in from the right. Fernandes had to be alert. Well, very safe play there by the fullback.
That's the type of pass I think that Celtic needed at the moment, Jock. They need the cross-field ball, they need to switch the play, and that was a magnificent pass from Dariusz Wdowczyk.
So Miller with a corner. Whyte, O'Neill and Galloway waiting for this. No one attacking the ball though in the air. Back with Whyte. And the snap header very well saved by Delay. It came from Nicholas. Well, the goalkeeper showing a lot of confidence again. This was turned back by Collins to Whyte. The downward header that could easily have slipped beyond a less capable goalkeeper.
It was a real chance again, Jock, and I think it proves the point that Celtic are going to make chances. Let's hope that they can take a fair portion of them.
Headed clears by Lutti, picked up by O'Neill. Here's Joe Miller. The tackle came from Fernandes. Neuchatel trying to strike in the break. Ballard has to leave his penalty area. That's good play. Pressurised by Hassan Hassan. Fine play by McStay. And Collins taking up excellent position on the left. Wdowczyk with outside him. Collins used him as the decoy. And Beat Suter has earned the free kick for the challenge made by Brian O'Neill. Another Swiss international Suter. He came on as substitute for Switzerland against Scotland in Bern in September. Good play this though, involving John Collins. O'Neill coming in, pushing into the back of Suter. Determined young man, Brian O'Neill, just 19 years old, but playing with a lot of confidence. There's Bonvin, chance on the turn. Well, the kind of moment Celtic must guard against. Christophe Bonvin clearly upset about this. He had a real chance to hit the target here.
Well, I think we saw the threat that Neuchatel offers Celtic because both front players are very quick, Jock. They've got the conscious having scored goals, and that was a real chance.
Christophe Bonvin has 22 Swiss caps. I think would have expected to hit the target at least with that effort. A timely reminder to Celtic. And if you've just tuned in, there's no scoring in the second leg of the Uefa Cup tie. Celtic having missed a penalty in 4 minutes. Nicholas foul, and he was the player who missed the penalty. Good header inside. Here's Joe Miller, a great chance for Celtic. Now Coyne holding off Fernandes. Setting it up for Nicholas. Referee gives the decision to Neuchatel, the goal kick. Nicholas playing with complete commitment out there, anxious to make amends for that early error. Coyne holding off Fernandez. Ball driven in there by Nicholas. He recovered quickly to make the challenge on Fernandez. The ricochet resulted in the goal kick.
On the evidence of the early play, Jock, you can feel goals will come in this game. The problem is that Neuchatel have showed they're maybe just as likely to pop one than the Celtic have at this stage.
Well, Liam Brady was telling us before the game that while an early goal would be welcome, there should be no despondency because they frequently come in clusters. But still, no joy as yet for Celtic. Here's Hossam Hassan, the goal-scoring hero of the first leg. Now Vanier. Galloway careful there with the pass back. Space here for McNally on the right. Luti's header helped on by Fernandez. Back again with Galloway. The measured pass finds O'Neill. That's good play from Celtic. Stay calling for the ball in the middle of the field. Hustled though all the way back by Hossam Hassan. The free kick goes to Neuchatel for the foul on Hani Ramsey by Coyne. Headed away by Galloway, picked up by Beat Suter, who's operated on the left flank. Out the match so far, that's for Ibrahim Hassan. Cut off well by Whyte. Very difficult first leg, Derek Whyte. Celtic operated that three-man defence, two markers, and Dariusz Wdowczyk sweeping. An orthodox back four tonight. Beat Suter, led in by Fernandez. Bonvan challenging. Hossam Hassan trying his luck with an acrobatic effort. Collins with a header. All sorted out there by Wdowczyk. So we're 1 quarter into the match, and Celtic are still to break their duck. So still trailing by 5-1 in aggregate. And while Celtic have had lots of the play, they found Neuchatel very determined opponents, and they want to compete in the middle of the field and in the Celtic half just as much as inside their own penalty area. They hold up now for treatment, and the referee will not allow any attention for the Neuchatel player on the ground. So the ball thumped out of play by Perret. Throw to Celtic and still no treatment for Beat Suter. So Celtic trying to hit Neuchatel with a variety of attacking moves, coming from the flanks, coming with a long ball from the back. They tried to work it through midfield with O'Neill and McStay in that area. Still looking for the breakthrough. Wdowczyk, McStay, that's Whyte and Galloway. Neuchatel all back facing the ball now. The Celtic probe for the opening. Good play by McNally. Careless one by Galloway. A break is on now for Neuchatel. Bonvan, the chance to come through. Hossam Hassan waiting in the inside right position. This is Suter. Hossam Hassan, well tackled by Whyte. An important challenge that by the Celtic defender. A long ball from Wdowczyk. There goes Coyne, and he's just inches away from that. Going in behind the defence, but the conditions certainly all against this kind of pass paying off.
If Dariusz Wdowczyk could angle those balls just a little bit more, Jockey, they're playing very square at the back, and I think that if he played it left to right, or indeed if Mark McNally or Brian O'Neill tried the reverse pass from the other side, I think they could catch this back four out.
Well, Neuchatel playing indeed square at the back, and they don't like to do that by nature. That's been imposed by their English coach, Roy Hodgson. There was some resistance from the Neuchatel players earlier in the season to that kind of defensive formation. Annie Ramsey in particular was anxious to operate in a sweeper role, but Roy Hodgson would have none of that. Here's Tommy Coyne. May settle for a corner. He's done well to come past one challenge, then into Philippe Perret, but the tackle by Tommy Coyne, going in with a stud showing on Perret, has resulted in a free kick to Neuchatel. It's the kind of challenge, Billy, which an Italian referee will never countenance.
No, that's right. I don't think there was any malice in it, Jock. Tommy was determined to get the ball. Unfortunately, Italian referees will look very, very askance at that and will always give a foul against it.
So Philippe Perret, the Neuchatel skipper, limps back into the fray. Galloway's header misses out Brian O'Neill. Careless one there from Suter. Fazil did well to play it against Collins. Daniel Fazil was ordered off 10 days ago against Lucerne, the number 2 there, for a professional foul inside the opposing half. So that was an interesting interpretation of the new UEFA regulations. Here's Ibrahim Hassan, turning well and well stopped in the end by Galloway, but an elusive customer. He played right back for Egypt in the World Cup.
It's a lovely ball inside, terrific bit of control, and a lot of confidence takes on Mike Galloway, but Mike stands up to him well and gets a good challenge in.
So Suter with this corner. There's Hassan. All very untidy and ragged. That'll be a corner kick again for Neuchatel. Well, it was the header in the first place, which was not decisive enough. Here to come from Derek Whyte. Ibrahim Hassan is still on the ground. The referee will not countenance any hold-up. He's insisting the corner is taken. Mike Galloway having a word with the referee about time wasting. Hassan sprinting there after looking as though he was dying a moment ago, and takes that short corner. Celtic now have the chance in the break. Here's Tommy Coyne stepping away from Vernier. Nicholas is through the middle. Coyne taking on Fazil. The fullback did well, standing up to Coyne. Vernier's clearance. Here's Beat Suter, tackled well by Collins. Coyne gets on the end of that pass from Derek Whyte, looking up for support in the middle. Cut on well by Vernier. There's Perret. Playing football out of trouble, the Swiss. That's good play. It's too far ahead of Philippe Perret. He was very happy to turn that ball way upfield and waste some more time. The captain of Neuchatel. The Celtic crowd huddled there underneath the cover. Still looking for an opening goal. No scoring in this second leg at Celtic Park. Approaching the half-hour mark. So the task still a daunting one for Celtic, with an offside flag up against Tommy Coyne in the middle. So Charlie Nicholas offering some advice to his teammates behind.
Yes, I think Pat Bonner started off the game kicking these long balls into their defence to test them out at the back. Got some success. I think at the moment he's just in danger of over-kicking just a bit. Maybe he should just shorten that kick out of his.
So a throw to Celtic. The chance for Bonner to take that advice from Billy McNeil. Well, the throw out this time. The marking in midfield among the Neuchatel players is very impressive. They're trying to make certain that Paul McStay in particular doesn't get any space in midfield. His marker is Philippe Perret, the very experienced captain of the Swiss side. It's well controlled by Coyne. The clearance though finds Bomar, and Hassan is offside. Osam Hassan was clearly offside and that ball was played through, and the Italian referee not at all happy with Hassan kicking the ball away there. A long range word with him, Osam Hassan. Wdowczyk. Collins with the return pass under intense pressure from Daniel Fazel. Young defender, sticking very close to Collins. Wdowczyk's free kick. Nodded down there by Coyne, and O'Neill had lost his bearings there for a second. Having been involved there looking for the high ball, Brian O'Neill could have had a chance there had he spotted that header from Coyne. There's Wdowczyk. Now Galloway. O'Neill. It is interesting though, Billy, the fact that Paul McStay is being so closely marked now by Philippe Perret.
Yes, obviously what Neuchatel are doing with Celtic are in possession, the front two are dropping off a little bit, and then they're trying to occupy Celtic's back four. It's enabling them to tighten up midfield, and certainly Paul's not going to get an awful lot of room tonight.
So problems undoubtedly remain for Celtic. The complexion of the match could change, of course, if they could find the net. And Charlie Nicholas, of course, passed up that perfect opportunity. And there's the Swiss bench. Roy Hodgson there, extreme right, pointing. Must be very happy at this stage. There's Bonvin. Testing Galloway. The right foot cross helped on by Paul McStay, collected by Vernier. This is Fazel. First time chance for Hassan, and that's a good save by Bonner. Ibrahim Hassan. That shot from the edge of the penalty area. Bonner pulled off what might turn out to be a very important save. Celtic trying to hit on the break, but that really was a dangerous moment for Celtic in defence. The header clear there from Mike Galloway, thumped back in by Ibrahim Hassan. That was good goalkeeping. There's Paul McStay with the first time shot that was deflected off Ramsey. He took the pace off the ball. Well, McStay has scored 3 times since his return to the side after injury. So a good strike rate for the midfield player. This is awkward. Here's Osam Hassan. And the referee's given a free kick against the Neuchatel striker. And for my money, that's a major let-off for Celtic. Hassan thinks so too.
It's a long ball out. It's misjudgment, Derek Whyte. I think Derek Whyte may even have handled the ball. I'm inclined to think that the Italian referee has done us a little bit of a favour.
Osam Hassan looking aggrieved, and you have to say, in the evidence of that replay, he may well have some justification. He's still furious, Hassan. Can't scarcely contain his anger. Well, that looked to be a major let-off for Celtic. A bit of indecision creeping into the heart of that Celtic defence. Ibrahim Hassan back, challenging Joe Miller. The ball was out of play. It'll be a throw to Celtic. But we've already seen enough to realise that Neuchatel Xamax are by no means a bad side.
No, I think we've seen enough of them in the attacking sense to accept that they might well score tonight.
That surely would end the match, or any hopes Celtic may still harbour. This is promising. Paul McStay appeared to be caught there in 2 minds when he received that pass. Thought about a first time shot, also thought about working a 1-2 at the edge of the area, and the end did neither. Disappointing that move from McStay. Careless one from Galloway. There's Vernier, very nimble coming forward. Fazel should lose this race to Collins. And the referee's given a free kick against Collins for holding off Fazel unfairly. Well, Daniel Fazel playing right back, but he's been coming forward as often as possible to support his attack. That's an indication of the policy Neuchatel have adopted for this match. Otto Fernandez on the left flank has done the same. There's Suter with a free kick. Difficult one for Bonner. No one close enough to take advantage of that little fumble. Treacherous conditions for goalkeepers these. They had Suter's free kick straight in on top of Bonner. There's O'Neill. Fernandez. Galloway doing good work there in defence, but being a little bit over elaborate, allowing that challenge from Bernier. Celtic in possession again with O'Neill. Here's Joe Miller. Free kick's been given. Well, a hefty tackle on Joe Miller. Otto Fernandez exchanging a few words there with Tommy Coyne. Well, for Fernandez it could be Spanish, it could be in French, it could be in German. It appears as though he's got some English as well. Free kick played in there by McNally. Well, you have to hand it to Neuchatel. Their tactics have been thoroughly effective tonight. An early break with that penalty miss, but they've coped extremely well. But here's a chance now for Mike Galloway. Bringing the ball back there. The chance is on for Collins. Turned over the crossbar. Nothing going right in front of goal for Celtic so far. Great ball that from Brian O'Neill. Played almost with backspin for Galloway. Turned it back brilliantly. Here was Collins trying to make certain, and the keeper turned it over. Goalkeeper going for the ball, along with Bernier, and an offside flag up as the ball was returned into the danger area. Neuchatel very sharp and alert, pushing out behind the clearance.
Celtic have had two real good chances, that being one of them, but all credit to the goalkeeper there. He's a young man and he's very, very confident and made a very good save.
Well, this is beautifully pulled back by Galloway, helped on by Coyne, straight to Collins. It was an excellent opportunity inside the 6-yard box. So Celtic have a free kick for a foul on Paul McStay. Neuchatel ensuring it can't be taken too quickly. Galloway playing it in. Up goes Ramsey. Galloway taking no chances. The sharpness of Bonvin and Hossam Hassan making Galloway cautious. Headed away by Luti. Here's Nicholas. Well tackled by Ibrahim Hassan. Ballman releasing the ball early for Hassan. He's trying to get behind Derek Whyte, who's quick enough to recover and make certain the Celtic defence comes to no harm. Galloway's long ball, a rather hopeful one, controlled by Fazel. Appeals for handball. There's McStay, impeded by Fazel. The referee saw nothing wrong with that. Waving play on. Long ball from Fernandez, bringing Bonner out of his area. Well, not quite so happy when he leaves the 18-yard box. So a throw to Neuchatel. Hossam Hassan appears to be in pain tonight. Perhaps this is the shock of playing in these conditions. Fernandez to Luti, it'll go all the way back to Delay. It's been a very good first half performance this by Neuchatel. They've set their stall extremely well. They've made certain they haven't allowed Celtic to pile in on top of them. They've tried to compete with them in every area of the field, and it's been effective. Bernier trying to hold off Collins. Determined play by a little midfield player. Ballman linking with Suter. We'll go back to Fernandez. Hossam Hassan going up with Wdowczyk. Here's Collins, a change of pace, taking away from Suter. He was held off clearly there by the Swiss international. And the free kick's been given and taken already, shot by Collins. There's Tommy Coyne, met by Luti. Celtic trying to maintain the pace of the game. Miller trying to wrestle his way beyond Fernandez. Gets the throw nevertheless. Luti's calm header, an accurate one to set up a counter-attack by Neuchatel. And the referee has given a free kick against McNally for that tackle on Ibrahim Hassan. The yellow card was produced there by the Italian referee. I'm not quite sure who the victim was. Perhaps Galloway has been saying rather a lot to the referee in the last 15 minutes or so. Ibrahim Hassan appears to be in trouble with some damage in the right calf. Well, we'll see why the referee got upset about this here, as the break was made from defence. Here was Ibrahim Hassan, and there's the tackle, the stud showing from Galloway.
I think you'll always be in danger of getting your name taken in contact with that type of challenge. The problem for Celtic is that Mike at the back is faced with two very quick lads. He might have to make another challenge later on in the game.
So the minutes ticking away towards half-time. 3 minutes remaining, plus any time to be added on by the referee. Well, what change in approach, Billy, do you think might be appropriate at this stage for Celtic?
I think basically they have got to try and shorten the game. They've got to try and find passes from midfield. The crowd have got to accept that patience is of an essence tonight, and they've got to be prepared to be patient. They've got to allow Celtic to pass the ball out to the back. We've got to get Paul McStay on the ball as much as possible, and we've got to see that diagonal ball going behind this team. Not a direct ball going through, but the diagonal ball going in behind to see if we can catch them out.
Tommy Coyne there, penalised for his attentions on the goalkeeper. There's Suter looking for Bonvin. Covering player was Galloway. Here's Fernandez. High challenge there by Fernandez, a free kick to Celtic. They will be looking for something before the interval. It's a bad ball from Galloway, giving possession again to Neuchatel. Suter with Fernandez again, striding forward from left back to support that attacking move. Here's McNally. Perry did just enough to nudge that towards Fazel. Good instant control from McStay. This is Collins. Ahead of him is Coyne. And this young fullback, Daniel Fazel, very sharp indeed with that tackle. He's still on the ground. The Celtic come forward with Wdowczyk in possession. McNally forward. Here's Nicholas. Miller hugging the touchline. Delay is totally committed. He's in serious trouble. The referee has given a foul against Celtic. The challenge made by Coyne on the goalkeeper.
It's a good spell of pressure from Celtic here, and it ends up with a tempting ball into the middle there, and unfortunately Tommy Coyne got underneath the goalkeeper, and I think the referee was probably right in awarding a foul.
So we're inside the final minute of a hectic first half, which has brought no joy so far for Celtic, and they've had one or two anxious moments defensively also. Here's Collins. Pass doesn't reach McStay. Foul by O'Neill. Player brought down was Bonvin. Adding to O'Neill's education, this European tie. Well, Neuchatel Xamax were not credited with too much stature after the first leg, rather surprisingly, but they've shown themselves to be a very useful side indeed, and they're causing problems again to Celtic. Here's Vernier, and a foul by Ibrahim Hassan on O'Neill ends that Neuchatel attack. The referee Bayarretto is checking his watch. There's precious little time left in the first half. Hiding header from Lutti, it's picked up by McStay, and the referee brings the first half to an end. The first half, which sadly for Celtic has been goalless, and that is principally because Charlie Nicholas passed up the perfect opportunity in 4 minutes when he missed a penalty kick, which might have made such a difference to the Celtic cause. From that point on, though, Neuchatel Xamax proving themselves to be very worthy European candidates. They've been very well organised, very determined, and they've given very few clear chances to Celtic. Billy, it's a worrying time.
I agree with you, Jock. The big incident in the first half was obviously the missed penalty. That gave Celtic the chance to whittle down that lead. Unfortunately, it also, with Charlie's miss, gave Neuchatel the opportunity to grow in confidence, and I think they have grown in stature throughout the game, and in the latter part of the game became a real live and vivid threat to Celtic.
So there's the half-time picture. Some very disappointed Celtic supporters looking on there. They've watched their favourites try everything possible in that first half, but so far they've had no joy in front of goal. At half-time it's Celtic 0, Neuchatel Xamax 0, and with that, back to Dougie Donnelly in the studio.
Thanks, Jock. We'll be back at Celtic Park, of course, for the whole of the second half live, but it's certainly not the scoreline or indeed the performance we were hoping for, Tommy, is it?
No, very disappointing, Dougie, up till now. I mean, the most disappointing for me is the fact that, you know, it's a young, inexperienced goalkeeper they've got in there. Celtic have had one shot at goal in 45 minutes. That for me has been the biggest thing. You know, I thought they'd been peppering shots in and about his goal, you know, for as often as the first half lasted, you know, just trying to put him under a bit of pressure, but they seem to be very predictable, just trying this big long ball down through the middle. We've not got any width, and the width we have got, you know, not getting down the outside or anybody taking men on or anything like that, you know.
But they're not really getting any sustained pressure on the Swiss at all, but it seems to be just isolated incidents, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they seem to be playing, you know, B2s and 3s all over the place without any real fluency going through the team, you know. Don't seem to have any sort of flowing through the team, you know. I thought, you know, like say Joe Miller would have been getting it and going at people, and Charlie would have got the ball, and you know, John Collins and guys like that would have got the ball, you know, guys with a bit of flair, and going in, you know, and trying to take folk on, but they seem to be getting it and just playing the wee pass all the time, and in a night like this it needs somebody to go and do something different to give them that vital spark, you know, to get them into a bit of flair.
Celtic also seem to be allowing almost Neuchatel to defend out where they want to defend, almost at the halfway line, aren't they? And they seem to be getting most of what's happening in midfield as well.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I says that to you, you know, let's say earlier on, you know, most of the things that are dropping in the middle of the park seem to be dropping to their players there, and they've got maybe 4 guys in there that are just sitting, you know, and just playing the ball in front of them for the front two. Anything that drops in there, they seem to be picking it up, and indeed when they get it, they're just playing it wide, getting it back and keeping good possession of the ball.
Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? Let's go back to that vital 4th minute then, and the dream start, because everyone went up in the air. It was the perfect opportunity, we thought, a penalty kick for Celtic with just 4 minutes gone, but sadly, Tommy, it all went wrong from there on, didn't it?
Yeah, it was very disappointing. You know, I think that's the ideal chance here. Charlie does well to get through there and get in front of the goalkeeper. Definite penalty. Early at this stage, it looked as if they're going to cause him a lot of problems with the long ball down the middle. Tommy Coyne flicked it on well for Charlie there.
Well, you'd have to say it really was a badly struck penalty kick, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he scored about 4 or 5 penalties this year, Charlie, and he'd be very disappointed with that.
Yeah, seems to be leaning back, yeah. Always under it, isn't he? So the golden chance had gone, but then there was a header coming up as well from, again, Charlie Nicholas, who's had a couple of chances. He got this header in well, though, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a good, just a little bit more diagonal into the bottom corner. John Collins does well to turn away again. Good ball in for Galloway. A good flashing header, but the keeper does well to actually smother that.
But Neuchatel have looked dangerous on their flurries up the park, haven't they, Tom?
Yeah, at least they've been prepared to get the ball into the box and, you know, trying a few shots at the goal. And that's another one, you know, with a wee bit of hesitancy in the Celtic defence here. And the guy's actually disappointed with himself for not getting that in target.
Good header here from Tommy Coyne, which actually just falls behind Brian O'Neill. He's actually facing the wrong way, which just summed up the first half almost, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's a good ball in. Tommy takes it in his chest and Brian actually just turned his back on it.
And then up to the other end again, and a very good save here by Mickey Bonner, wasn't it?
Yeah, great save, because I think the ball bounced just in front of him. The ball bounced there. Actually, the guy hit the ball well, kept it down well.
And coming off a very wet surface like that, never easy for a goalkeeper, but a good save there to keep Celtic in with a chance. And then the ball, in fact, did end up in the Celtic net. Now, what about this one? Was it a free kick?
I actually didn't see anything wrong with that, Dougie, to be honest with you. I thought if anything, big Whyte looked as if he handled the ball. The guy didn't seem to foul him, he just seemed to stay right behind him and then just stick his toe in.
I think perhaps Senior Peretto maybe did Celtic a favour there. There didn't seem to be an awful lot long.
Very much so, yeah.
And then the last chance for Celtic in the first half, when again it just didn't fall right for John Collins. It kind of bobbled. He tried to get onto the left foot and over the bar it went.
Yeah, possibly better taking it back across the front of the goal. A great ball for Ryan Neal outside his right foot here. A good run for Mike Galloway. Does well. Looks as if it's going out and he gets a great ball back across the face of the goal. I think if young John Collins had took the ball back across the face of the goal, it might have opened up for him there, you know.
That's right. So I'm afraid disappointment so far. Celtic still looking for 4 goals to take themselves into the next round of the UEFA Cup. We're back at Celtic Park, as I say, for live coverage of that second 45 minutes. But of course there is another very important UEFA Cup tie taking place in Britain tonight. Liverpool against Auxerre of France. Liverpool facing a 2-0 deficit from the first leg, and that's happened to them on 4 previous occasions. They've never managed to overcome such a deficit in Europe in the past. Would tonight be the first time? Well, Barry Davis is the commentator, Trevor Brooking alongside him.
Here's McManaman, followed by Mahé. There's man-for-man marking. McManaman has gone down the middle. Mahé has gone with him. Now they come out to the left and it's stride for stride all the way. And McManaman gets away, and a straight penalty. Mahé the challenge from behind with only 3 minutes on the stopwatch. They followed each other quite a distance. There the ball was won. Mahé felt that he might have been clobbered a bit, went there and caught back of ankle rather than calf. And the further test to the nerves. Mulby against Martini, and Liverpool lead. Cracking penalty. Curled right on top of the handbag in the corner of the net.
Quite amazing. Whatever he was thinking at this moment, I don't know, but he must have been totally relieved. The keeper goes the right way, a bit of a teaser, but it got past him into the corner.
This is Peretti, and Coyne, good save! Taking up where he left off in France. Animated Graham Souness, and possibly about this, Kovac had got an opportunity, he thought, and Grobbelaar right down at his feet. Houghton, Mulby is square, and the return ball comes in for Houghton, and Marsh scores! It's taken just half an hour to square the tie. Mulby's wonderful pass, Houghton the instant cross, Marsh the decisive header.
Well, it's a superb ball from Jan Mulby, good floated cross by Ray Houghton, and credit to Mike Marsh.
And that's how it stands at half-time at Anfield. They're all square on aggregate there, 2 apiece, and what Celtic would have given for a scoreline that reached 2-0, Tommy, eh?
Oh, very much so. I think the most important thing in the second half is that the crowd don't start getting their backs, you know, and, you know, upsetting them, because, you know, there's a few young players in the team and it's important that they, you know, they keep calm and keep playing away. And I think if they get a goal, you know, they'll certainly, the floodgates will open, but they need to get that goal, you know.
Yeah, it really is more and more important that Celtic get the first of what hopefully might be 4 goals. It's still a mountain to climb, isn't it? Out there in the rain at Parkhead. Let's hope that we have better things to look forward to. Let's rejoin Billy McNeil and Jock Brown.
Thank you, Dougie. Yes, the Celtic supporters certainly couldn't be criticised for the support they've offered in that opening 45 minutes. Their vocal support really has been immense, despite the disappointment of that penalty miss by Charlie Nicholas early on. But in that dressing room right now, Billy, with these Celtic players, what kind of instructions do you think Liam Brady may be offering?
Well, I think the most important thing that it won't want Celtic to panic. It want them to start and play football and get a hold of the ball and keep the ball. I think it's very, very important the second half that if Celtic can keep the ball and keep it away from Neuchatel, then they might start to frustrate them just a little bit, and they might, by passing the ball about, make the opportunities they haven't made in the abundance they wanted in the first half. But certainly, I still think that this back four of Neuchatel looks very, very square. And to beat a square back four, you've always got to transfer the ball from left to right or vice versa. And I think that's always important to remember.
One of the problems, though, Billy, appears to be the fact that key men for Celtic haven't really been able to force their way into the game. That applies, in fact, to the whole front three, Miller, Nicholas and Coyne. After the first 5 minutes or so, they've been so closely marked, they really haven't made an impact.
Yes, I think early on that Celtic obviously wanted to play those long balls into that box and see if they could upset the back four of Neuchatel. They had the opportunity early on and they did upset them. Charlie got a deserved penalty kick awarded to him. Unfortunately, he blew the opportunity, but that was the right tactics at that particular time. But I think Neuchatel have settled in well. As you say, they have picked up, they've marked very, very tightly. I think all credit to their front two. They're prepared to break forward, but equally they're prepared to work right across the back four of Celtic, to allow the midfield players to go in and crowd that midfield area and deny Paul McStay the type of opportunity and the type of room that he needs.
Well, we had persistent comments after the first leg, which I'm not sure I was totally happy about, which suggested that Neuchatel were very ordinary. In your experience of Europe, which is vast, Billy, how would you rate this side?
Well, I think we've got to think, if you look at the league position, we've got to say that it was a good draw in many, many ways for Celtic, but that's has all been wise before the event. Now, having seen them, I think that, like any other team, they've heard these remarks, they've seen them, they've used that to introduce a little bit of steel into their team, and certainly they are playing like a team that should be well up their own league and not in the bottom half of it as they are.
Well, their coach Roy Hodgson told me before the match that he was supremely confident that Neuchatel Xamax would be right in at the death in the Swiss Championship. He reckoned they've been very unfortunate so far in the league campaign. That's why they're only lying 6th at this stage, but he still may have some problems to face in the second half. These Celtic supporters certainly not downhearted, and a major show of defiance there. They're waiting to welcome the players back on the field and looking for what would be, by any standard, Billy, the most miraculous 45 minutes in Celtic's time for a very long period in their history.
Well, that's right. I think this club owes a huge debt to these supporters because they have dragged the club through games so often in the past. I remember that way back in the days when we had a real good European side, that we played Red Star Belgrade here. We had an incredible second half. Little Jimmy Johnson tore them apart, but the crowd stayed with us. The crowd are staying with Celtic tonight, and that's exactly the kind of welcome they need coming out here for the second half. I have the feeling that this game might go to stamina and fitness, and let's hope that Celtic's fitness is better than the Swiss side.
Well, there are some very determined looking players coming out there wearing those Celtic green and white hoops, and they're out there to do business, and they're waiting for the Neuchatel Xamax players to appear. Liam Brady is the man with the difficult managerial task of giving the half-time team talk, and Jerry Craney has been introduced to the Celtic side for the second half, and Tommy Coyne is out there, so is Charlie Nicholas, Joe Miller also, they're all there. So the player off appears to be Derek Whyte. So it's a major throw of the dice now for Celtic. Jerry Craney is on to replace Derek Whyte. So Celtic reorganising with Mark McNally joining Mike Galloway in central defence, and Brian O'Neill dropping into a deep position near the right back spot, but I'm sure they'll want to push him into the right midfield. So it is really a last desperate tactical adjustment by Liam Brady to turn this tie, and certainly there's no point in being cautious at this stage. So it's Neuchatel Xamax with no changes in their lineup starting the second half. The rain has stopped as Hossam Hassan tries to break through the middle. Wdowczyk coming in from his left back position. So Celtic going effectively 3 at the back for the second half of the match, trying to get plenty of creative players on the field. Ibrahim Hassan losing out there to Collins. There's Tommy Coyne, well challenged by Fazel, and the right backs had a very good match for Neuchatel. Making another good tackle on Tommy Coyne, conceding the corner kick. Well, Liam Brady said before the match, goals frequently come in clusters, and that's what Celtic need now. Wdowczyk playing it in early, played out by Perry, only as far as McStay. He avoided the offside trap there by holding the play up. Here's Collins, and now Wdowczyk. Miller trying to ease his way past his man, but the cover was there for Neuchatel. It came from Alain Vernier that time. He took a knock on the ankle as he made that challenge. So Bonner now with a long kick out again. Bad headed by Fazel. Up goes Nicholas. There's a chance for Collins. That could have made a difference. Once again, the aerial power up front caused the problem. The Celtic supporters were encouraged by that, and there the header down by Nicholas, setting it up for Collins.
Unfortunately, it's the type of chance that Celtic need to convert at this stage, but they've come out the second half obviously very, very determined to get into this game and to make a big impact in the second half, and that's exactly what the fans expect of them.
So the pace, the start of the second half, has been increased by Celtic, and the decision goes Neuchatel's way. Fazel getting the decision against John Collins for that throw. Coyne's headed inside. Hassan challenged instantly there by Coyne. Across from Nicholas to Miller. Fernandes closes him down rapidly. He's tackled Joe Miller very well so far tonight, the fullback. Back with McNally. What a movement inside the penalty area. The offside flag was up on the near side. I don't think it was John Collins. It may well have been Tommy Coyne who was caught as the ball came in. The vital moments these. Celtic could produce something in this opening burst in the second half. Could inspire them to a major second half performance. Corner coming out, winning that from Hassan. Wdowczyk. There's McStay. Cross to McNally. Ramsey's header. Credited well. Cleared by Luti. Well, the ball's in the air. That's not where Celtic wanted, although that's good work by Coyne. Just out of reach for Paul McStay. Ball's out of play according to the linesman. Disappointment there for the Polish international. Here's Collins, clearly brought down by Vernier. It's a free kick to Celtic. Coyne tackled swiftly by Fazel. Pushing the back surely on Charlie Nicholas. No, the referee has given the free kick the other way. Well, a look in the face of Charlie Nicholas tells what he thinks about that. And I have to say, Billy, that seemed to be a very strange decision.
It did seem a strange decision, and it just unfortunately takes the pressure off Neuchatel at the moment. As far as Celtic want, they want to keep this pressure on, keep the ball in and around their box, and hope that they get an early goal this half.
It's picked up by Bonvin. Hassan has gone through the middle. Ibrahim Hassan, that is the midfield player. This is Suter. Supported by Fernandes. It's well covered by Bonner. Pressurised all the way by Ibrahim Hassan. That's picked up by Galloway. And still the covering is very tight indeed among the Swiss defenders. And the Egyptian here, Hani Ramsey. Vernier inside, here's Bonvin. Very good first touch, the big striker. No way through that time. Picked up by Galloway. In the middle is McStay. Making space for himself brilliantly. He then took a hefty knock from Fazel as he released the pass. McStay inconvenienced by that all right as Galloway tried to open up the Neuchatel defence. And here's Ibrahim Hassan. This is a great chance for Neuchatel. Well, perhaps just as well it was not the other Hassan. Ibrahim Hassan with an excellent chance. Tried to chip the keeper. Didn't catch it properly. anguish for Ibrahim Hassan.
Celtic look very, very fragile there, and indeed Ibrahim Hassan will never miss a better chance than that to put the tie beyond doubt.
Ramsey plays it forward. There's Vernier. That's a great dummy by Vernier. Baldwin calls for the ball in the middle, and the pass is just out of reach. Well, menacing play again from the Neuchatel side coming forward. That's an error by Ramsey. There's Nicholas playing it forward for Coyne. This is a chance for Celtic, and this time it's there. Joe Miller for Celtic. Brilliantly created by Charlie Nicholas and Tommy Coyne. Joe Miller with a finish. This was splendid play by Nicholas. Look at the way he held things up. Picked the pass out for Tommy Coyne. He played this across the face of the goalkeeper, and there was Miller for the finish.
It's a delightful bit of play. Tommy Coyne makes a good run through the inside left channel. Charlie sends him an excellent pass in. Tommy doesn't have to look up. He knows exactly what he's going to do. He sweeps it across the goal. There's Joe Miller to put it away. And let's see what Celtic can do now.
Remember, the target this evening is 4-0 to Celtic. So they have the first. And that mention made about goals coming in clusters. We'll see about that, but a second quickly now would transform this tie. Huge kick out there from Bonner. Collins underneath that. Played inside by Coyne. And the referee looking very carefully at that move to see if there was a foul on Coyne. And I wonder if the return pass may have been regretted. There was a chance there for a shot at goal. But the move breaks down. And Neuchatel breaking again with an offside flag up against Hossam Hassan. So Bonner again, launching a long high ball downfield. Craney operating behind the front players, Nicholas and Coyne. Up goes Luti. There's McNally. Miller's lay off. There's Craney, playing it long for Coyne. He tried to help that on, but there's Nicholas. Nicholas again, trying to control the ball, the edge of the penalty area, a very crowded area, and suddenly Neuchatel beginning to look just a little bit ragged defensively. They've been rocked by that goal. There's McNally. Held it away well by Fazel. Hossam Hassan lofting it forward. There's a slip there by Galloway, and the offside flag halts that move. Well, that's an occasion when the squareness of the back four pays off. Pushing out on the line, leaving Tommy Coyne just about a yard offside. So there's some activity over on the far side on the Celtic bench. Tony Cascarino, I think, is going to be introduced. And indeed it looks as though Dariusz Wdowczyk is going off and Cascarino is coming on. Well, you can't get any more positive than that. Ibrahim Hassan, here's Wdowczyk with the interception. A very good tackle there by Vernier. There's Hossam Hassan. Well, suddenly Celtic were exposed by that excellent challenge made by Alain Vernier. Celtic still waiting to bring on Cascarino. That was a great header by Perry in this cauldron now, finding Vernier with a very calm little header in the middle of the field. There's Craney losing out as he tried to come forward. Now Galloway, a long ball forward. Nicholas on the run. Laurent Delay again coming out in commanding fashion. He looks to be a very good young goalkeeper. McNally being told exactly what to do by Pat Bonner. The keeper stayed back and gave a target to the young fullback. Here's Nicholas in behind the defence, a great chance for the second. Brought down from the back. There's no penalty given. Now that appeared to be a foul on Charlie Nicholas. The referee, well back from the play, it has to be said, saw nothing wrong with that. And that really was a very controversial moment as Coyne breaks on the left. Celtic stepping up the pace again. Here's Coyne, two defenders to take on. Perret was one of them. Very calm, influential figure in the Neuchatel ranks. Here's Bonvin. Back with Mike Galloway. Picking out Miller. Two men come to meet him. One of them was Beat Suter. And Celtic now want to make that substitution. The play still not held up in time. Across it goes from McNally. Played forward there by Wdowczyk. It'll run away from Collins. Run out for a goal kick to Neuchatel. A substitution can now be made. And it's going to be Tony Cascarino who will come on once the referee's attention is drawn to this, as the linesman tries to tell the referee there's a substitute coming on. Well, the sign language among the Italian officials certainly not adequate. Referee Paretto, despite being told by a number of players about that proposed change, only now allows Cascarino to replace Wdowczyk. So aerial power for Celtic in attack. And there's Tony Cascarino, £1.1 million signing from Aston Villa. Scored a couple of goals, notably that one which saved the match against Rangers on Saturday. Well, Billy, in all that mayhem, was it a penalty to Celtic, do you think?
Well, I thought it was, because Charlie Nicholas looked as though he was in a clear position to have a strike at goals. And as far as I'm concerned, the defender caught his trailing foot and pulled him back.
Off goes Cascarino. There's Coyne under pressure from Fazel. Goal kick's been given. Well, it's a quite remarkable looking Celtic formation now. Just Mark McNally and Mike Galloway, man for man on Bonvin and Hossam Hassan in defence. Then O'Neill with McStay and Collins. Jerry Craney also in the middle of the field, with four up front: Miller, Nicholas, Cascarino and Coyne. Well, you cannot get any more attack-minded than that, but it means that Celtic will have to live very dangerously at the back. Well, it seems remarkable to say so, but can there be too many attackers on the field, I wonder, Billy?
Well, I think Liam Brady has decided to go for broke. At this moment in time, he's out of the UEFA Cup, so he's going to have a go at getting Celtic in it. And all credit to him, he's preferred to be brave. He's now got Brian O'Neill playing a right back, right midfield role. John Collins doing likewise on the left. But the little bit of worry you must have is the pace of these two strikers of Neuchatel will always be a threat.
And here's one of them now. It's Hossam Hassan making progress on the right, taking some strain off his defence with that run. Ball's out of play. The Italian linesman gives the throw. Galloway plays it across to McNally. It had to get beyond Fernandes to be effective. It didn't make it. There's Beat Suter. Collins steps in from his new role. Attacking left back he's playing now. Stay forward. Here's Nicholas. Now Miller. Through the gap it goes to Cascarino. He's onside. A perfect opportunity for Tony Cascarino. Oh, what an opening this was. A superb pass from Joe Miller. Cascarino on his better foot. It was a good save by Delay. Chance again for Craney, almost cropped up. Disappointing one from Brian O'Neill, but for Tony Cascarino, a chance to endear himself to the Celtic supporters.
Well, it's another chance frittered away in many ways, because it was a delightful pass from Joe Miller. Cascarino caught him square at the back and beat the offside trap, and it gave himself the perfect opportunity to put Celtic really into the driving seat.
Certainly was a good piece of goalkeeping by young Florent Delay. He was out and down very swiftly, spreading himself in front of Cascarino, made the chance much more difficult by his splendid work. Free kick given for that challenge by O'Neill on Suter. Well, when you think that 4 goals in a very tall order, and you think on the chances Celtic have missed, even just in the second half, there's still a genuine basis for optimism. Especially when you see the way in which Neuchatel reacted to the first goal. They were certainly ragged for a while after it. That's why these other chances have cropped up. And down goes Jerry Coyne, breaking there. And Philippe Perret in the heart of all that with Robert Luthi, the sweeper. So the ball played inside there. There was a tackle from Perret. Fernandes wants to let that run. Celtic will have none of that. Both Coyne and Miller closing in on the fullback. Slip it inside. Here's Bowman. Very calm, very skillful. Pass though is cut off by O'Neill. Here's Paul McStay. Galloway. Several players up front calling for the ball, providing options for the player at the back. Here's Tommy Coyne. Well, trying there to deliver a cross, but out of luck, a miscue, giving the goal kick to Neuchatel. Can Celtic keep up this pace, Billy?
I think they can, Jock. That was my remark at half-time when I felt that pace and fitness and determination perhaps would come into this game. It's starting to take effect now, and at the moment Neuchatel are not the organised side they were in the first half, and you can always see Celtic threaten them, and you can always see Celtic perhaps get another couple of goals.
There's Pazel under pressure from Cascarino. Misjudgment in the air by Galloway. That's very good defending play by Mark McNally, the youngster, 20 years old, playing in his second European match, cutting across there to cover. Here's Nicholas. The accurate ball finds Miller. There's Cascarino, another chance. Back with Tommy Coyne, and appeared to strike the post. It was also parried by the goalkeeper. Well, desperate defending here by Neuchatel. There was Cascarino, very well tackled. Tommy Coyne put it in. Great goalkeeping by Delay.
Yes, this young man has had a superb game for his side, and very, very difficult beat, very quick off his line, and very, very confident in everything he's done. That again was a very, very good save.
Ibrahim Hassan on the ground. His brother Osam comes to have a chat with the referee, but Florent Delay was a salesman until very recently, just 20 years old. He's deposed the Swiss international Joel Corminberth, and it's not difficult to see why on this display. He really has had an outstanding match, and we'll have plenty more work to do, I reckon, before the end of this game. Galloway heads it back inside. They're queued up in the 6-yard line, but queued up in an offside position. Cascarino was the player trying to turn that beyond the line goal. So the craft of Charlie Nicholas becoming more and more important as the game goes on. Enjoying all this attacking support he's got now. That's good play by McStay, beating his man. The one movement. Played in there again for Charlie Nicholas. Florent Delay, the hero once again. What a match this young man is having. Nicholas, I'm sure, can scarcely believe this. It's a great pass from Cascarino into his path. Nicholas trying to chip that beyond the keeper. It was great goalkeeping. Now Neuchatel trying to do something coming forward as Vernier. That's cut off by McStay. The layoff from Cascarino. Fine play again from Paul McStay. 20 minutes of the second half gone. Celtic leading by 1 goal to 0. And the principal reason why the score is restricted to 1 is the young man in the Neuchatel Xamax goal, Florent Delay. Give off Beat Suter's face. Joe Miller couldn't find Coyne inside. Played forward by Fernandes. Collins getting up with the header. Back it goes from Galloway. Celtic push forward again. Fernandes with the clearance. Suter did well. There's McNally. Luthi got up well to that. Here's Vernier. Very powerful runner on the right flank. He's been held up by Paul McStay illegally. It's a free kick to Neuchatel. Well, McStay playing with lots of energy, leading by example in this second half. He's been on the ball a great deal since the interval, and that must be heartening for Celtic. Poor free kick, Coyne sends it forward, and Charlie Nicholas was offside when the ball was released, I think. And a very good angle on that from the position here, and on that occasion the linesman could not be criticised, I reckon. So Ramsey with the free kick, helped on by Bonvin. There's Brian O'Neill confidently chesting it back to his goalkeeper. An offside decision if the referee wants to give it, but he waves down the linesman's flag. Celtic in possession, just out of reach for McStay. The pass from Collins. Now Celtic are exposed. Here's Bonvin, it's 4 against 4. Coyne trying to get back. Ibrahim Hassan lining up a long-range shot, and not a bad one at that. Well, he missed a golden opportunity at the start of the second half. Up goes Nicholas, it broke off Luti. Careless one from Fernandez, there's one on the line, making absolutely certain there was no penalty that time. Here's Nicholas, the layoff finds Coyne. He's eased off by Fernandez. Oh, the referee has given a free kick against Tommy Coyne. Well, Pierluigi Pajaretto is a very experienced Italian referee, but this surely is controversial. Fernandez clearly playing Coyne off the ball.
I think he did initially. Tommy unfortunately compounded it, the referee's difficulty giving the decision by pulling him down, but I think you might well have, a lot of referees would have given a penalty kick there.
That's Perry, midway through the second half now. We're 3/4 of the way through the match, so Celtic required to score 3 times in the closing quarter of the game to remain in Europe. Bernier with McStay, a dramatic roll, and the referee has been taken in by that. He's given the free kick.
The referee must be feeling the pace of this game, because Celtic have really increased the pace of this game quite dramatically. Paul McStay has been absolutely magnificent in the second half, leading by example, at the heart of everything, prompting, tackling, challenging. He's been absolutely magnificent.
So free kick, Neuchatel, and that was headed on by Galloway. It was an important clearance. Vernier was right in there behind him. So some more defensive work for Celtic to undertake. Fernandez with the throw. Coyne laying it off there for McStay. Here's O'Neill. Joe Miller, up the line it goes, looking for Nicholas. The ball is still in play. Nicholas thought the ball was going out. He checked out of the run and allowed Luti to tidy up without any pressure. So Celtic try to come forward again. There's Collins and Galloway. Now McNally. Fernandez lets that run. That was calm defending. Good work by the fullback. Big temptation, I suppose, Billy, when there are so many players up front, is for defenders to play the ball long back to front.
Well, that is always a temptation. I think it's one they've got to resist. Having said that, they've looked unsettled when high balls are going in there now, and you may get a break of things, but if Celtic continue to keep the ball on the deck and keep possession of it, then I think they'll achieve a lot.
Breaks to McStay in the middle of the field again. Finds the angle to release Coyne. Now Coyne. Miller's on the touchline. Back now with O'Neill. An easy clearance for Ramsey. Ramsey again. There's McNally. Trying to get that beyond the Neuchatel defence. Well, Ibrahim Hassan and Hani Ramsey, the two Egyptians, clash on the penalty spot, but they come to no harm. Well, the Celtic supporters incensed by that dramatic dive there. The referee wasn't deceived by Vernier's dramatics. Good play by Galloway. This is Collins. There's Charlie Nicholas. A deliberate downward header, and he can't believe it. This is an excellent effort by Nicholas. The downward header, the keeper certainly beaten that time.
It's another chance gone. That's the problem, because he really should be turning that ball onto target, forcing the goalkeeper into a save. Unfortunately, it went past.
Ramsey's header. Header there in the air by Galloway. Alan Bonvan to break. Faced by McNally. And then by McStay. Collins takes over. Ryan O'Neill calling for the ball on the other side. He gets it from Pat Bonner. This is Craney. Now McNally. An accurate pass finds Cascarino. Not quite as a good ball though from the Republic of Ireland international. This is Vernier taking the ball for a run, relieving the pressure, inviting Galloway to make a tackle. Collins brings the ball clear. This is Cascarino. Square ball finds Craney. Cascarino asked to make a run for that one also, but Hassan getting back very swiftly. Good midfield defensive play by Ibrahim Hassan. Race there between Collins and Hossam Hassan. Pat Bonner settled any arguments with that clearance. Debate going on among the Neuchatel players about who should take the throw. Now, in no hurry, of course. Trying to avoid any panicky finish to the game. There's Collins. Well, looks very comfortable in that position, John Collins. Attacking left back. Helped on by Cascarino. There's Ramsey. Perry helps it on. Collins invited to use. Pat Bonner in goal. Well timed the enemy for Celtic without any question. Chance on again as Nicholas goes forward, and Delay was very quick coming off his goal line for that. You have the impression the young keeper thinks he can do no wrong now. There's Galloway. Clumsy first touch. Giving possession to Neuchatel. Perry and Hassan caught late there by Collins.
The referee did Celtic a little bit of a turn there, because all of a sudden it was a two against one situation at the back, so it's not a bad foul to give.
Arnie Ramsey will take this free kick. Happy to get the chance to play inside the Celtic half. Craney's header is helped on by Miller, but a hopeful ball thumped forward. Turned away by Luti. Started up as a striker, the 33-year-old. Hassan, clear of a handball. Tackle came from O'Neill, and Hossam Hassan rolls in agony. The referee waving play on, no foul given. Here's Collins. Forward to McStay, good play from McStay. Collins still striding forward, taken out of the play that time by Philippe Perret. Well, he's performed very well indeed in the Neuchatel Xamax cause tonight, Philippe Perret. A regular in the Swiss side until Uli Stilicke took over. Stilicke doesn't appear to fancy him. Has added to the caps here and before then. So it's a long way out for a direct strike and goal. Tony Cascarino taking up position at the far corner of the box. McStay orchestrating. It's a great ball in. Headed across, should have set up a chance. There's McNally dragging the ball towards the byline. That'll be a corner kick off Perret. Well, young Mark McNally's had a good match for Celtic. Well, the young fullback, just 20 years old, kept on the field when Derek Whyte and Dariusz Wdowczyk have been removed. A measure of the standing he has. And that attempt by Cascarino comes to nothing.
bit by bit, the Swiss are getting more organised at the back again. It looks as though they may well have weathered the storm.
But another goal might make a difference. Here's O'Neill winning the ball well for Celtic, setting it up for Trainee. Going to be handballed by Hassan. The referee didn't spot that. Good tackling by Paul McStay. There's Beaumont. Ibrahim Hassan. Well, he's not too popular among the Celtic supporters for his play acting and for gesticulating to the supporters. An offside flag up against Vernier. The referee has now spotted that. The free kick can be taken. So inside the closing quarter of an hour, Celtic leading by 1-0. They have to score 4 times to have a chance to stay in the competition though. Here's Tommy Coyne. Playing it in a layup goes Nicholas. There's Miller. Delay beats the ball to safety. Here's Paul McStay. Back with O'Neill. McStay again, playing it wide for Collins. Pulling the ball across the face of the area, but still so difficult to find a Celtic player.
The thing is, Celtic have really punished this team in the second, other than the aspect of scoring goals, and this goalkeeper has had an absolutely magnificent game.
And now the first change will be made by Neuchatel Xamax. You would expect that. Beat Suter is going off. Patrice Mottier is coming on. And Beat Suter taking plenty of time about his departure.
Surprising substitution in many ways, because he's had a good game, Suter. He's worked hard in midfield and he's a bit of experience. But I suppose he's trying to slow the game down at every opportunity.
Did have a couple of spells of treatment early in the match. May still be suffering a little. It's played in by Galloway, and the offside flag is up as Cascarino wins the high ball. It looked as though Joe Miller may have been the offender. So Mottier's taken up a position, vacated by Suter, wide on the left side of midfield. Joe Miller scored the goal which gave Celtic such hope early in the second half. Warner comes to claim it. Celtic still trying to play football. Building to the back with Collins, using Galloway now. Good header on by Cascarino. Lutti reacting well though. In goes McNally. And then the covering player is Galloway. Here's O'Neill. Chance on again there for Nicholas, being in behind Lutti. Nicholas wins the ball from the goalkeeper, then goes down. He looks toward the linesman for some help. The referee's given a goal kick. The goalkeeper is still on the ground. So he's been helped to his feet by Nicholas. We'll see this from a different angle here as the ball was played in. Nicholas going for the ball, got to it first. Well, I tell you, that could easily have been a penalty kick.
I think had that happened further out in the area, the referee might well have been forced into giving the penalty kick. I think because it was on almost on the byline, he didn't have to make any decision at all.
Certainly looked like a foul inside the area though, and another bit of bad news for Celtic. Collins lets that run. There's Collins inside his McStay. Collins collects again. There's Galloway. Casual play by Galloway. This is a chance for Neuchatel to tie it all up. Hossam Hassan with Bowman in the middle. A pass just hit too firmly. Celtic have the chance to regroup in defence. That could have ended it. Christophe Bowman, scorer of the 5th goal after Hossam Hassan's 4 in Neuchatel in the first leg. That could have finished it.
Mike Galloway has had 1 or 2 little lapses, overconfident perhaps. He can't afford to take chances at this stage in the game.
So the Neuchatel corner kick. Played right across the far side where Ramsey collects, showing his close control and possession. Hassan, brought down by McNally. Free kick goes to Neuchatel. So a leisurely spotting of the ball for Neuchatel for this free kick. Jerry Crenny with a header clear. Unusual territory for him. Joe Miller lashing it forward. Good control from McStay and an excellent pass. Tommy Coyne at full stretch. Couldn't get to that though. The wet surface was the problem there. The ball skidding away from Coyne. So now Paul McStay trying to create something from a deep position for Celtic. Good running by Galloway, taking the pass from Collins. No way past Fazel. Another Neuchatel player is at a very good match, the right back. Perry is offside, the linesman's flag was slow in going up. The captain breaking from his midfield defensive role, one which he has performed so well in the first half, but he's found Paul McStay difficult to pin down in the second half. This is Galloway. Forcing Miller to go a long way back. O'Neill inside, here's McStay. Good play by McStay, Crenny picks it up. This is Coyne. Miller available on the outside. Cross helped on by Coyne, and the chance! The two Celtic players collide inside the area. Crenny and Nicholas get in each other's way.
This is a great ball across the goals, and that's another golden opportunity to go a by.
Well, what is certainly without doubt, Billy, in the whole second half, is that Celtic have had the chances to save this tie.
Undoubtedly, the fact that they are not in front at this stage is down to their own inability to put the ball in the net and the goalkeeper's magnificent display.
Played across there by Cascarino. Fernandez won it well, and Paul McStay penalised there, lifting his boot in the challenge. Well, it appeared to me to be 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, both men trying to play the ball, but the Italian referee wouldn't entertain that. Philip Perret makes his way forward again. He's marshalled his troops well, apart from a 15-minute spell or so just after the Joe Miller goal, when they look ragged. There's Hossam Hassan, and that's great goalkeeping by Abana. And what a burst of acceleration there was there from Hossam Hassan. Long ball forward, chased by Miller. There's Fernandez turning it away for a throw to Celtic. There's Crenny, away by Ramsey. Here's McNally, looking for Cascarino. Forward it goes to Nicholas. Just out of reach, the ball skidding away in front of Nicholas. Keeper judged it well. McNally will have to go again for this. Now leaves it to O'Neill. There's McStay holding off Bonvin, losing his boot there, coming forward. There's Crenny. Now Collins. Wide on the left is Cascarino. Paul McStay has no right boot for the moment, sorting out the lacy, so he's out of the play right now. The referee gives a very good advantage there to Neuchatel after a foul by Cascarino. So here's Perret to Hassan. Mortier breaking, looking for Fernandez coming from the left. That's good covering play though by Jerry Crenny. Here's Joe Miller. Brought down quite blatantly there by Luti. Wasn't required either because Fernandez was covering. A cynical foul by Luti. Referee by Reto thinks it's enough to give the free kick. 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes left. Can Celtic score 3 times? Well, what a tall order that is. The wall will have to retreat. Still not back to 10 yards, the referee indicated, but there's Joe Miller playing it in. Back with Collins. McNally lofting it forward, the offside trap has been beaten. Nicholas with a layoff which went straight to Perret. There's Hassan. Vernier supporting on his outside. Perret going through the middle. Here's Vernier. Perret calling for the ball in the middle. There's a great chance. Oh, what a finish that would have provided for Philippe Perret, who's been such an important, influential player in the middle of the field for Neuchatel, the skipper. Three-man break that. Hossam Hassan, Alain Vernier, and then Philippe Perret.
It's astonishing to think there's only been one goal in this game, because there's been so many goal-scoring opportunities created by both sides. In fairness to Celtic, they could have scored 6 in the second half.
O'Neill fighting it in. Ramsey gets there first. Coyne. Good little shuffle. Ramsey forward to Bonvin. And a bit of holding there by Bonvin, keeping McStay away from the challenge on Ramsey. It's a free kick to Celtic. Well, now it's about pride, I think. Another substitution going to be made by Neuchatel. Xamax. Off goes Hossam Hassan, the goal-scoring hero of the first leg, and the replacement is Frédéric Chassel. And he too is an international striker for Switzerland. And he's very quick indeed, I can tell you, if he gets a chance to run at the Celtic defence before the end. Led in by Galloway. Head flick on. There's Nicholas. Still at 1 run for Celtic. And an offside decision against Cascarino, who was slow reacting as the clearance was made by the Neuchatel defence. It was going to take some element of luck, Billy, for Celtic to achieve the required result tonight. They've had none of that, really, in fairness.
No, they haven't really carried the weight, but a lot of the fact that they took so long to score is in their own hands, because they did have the opportunities. And while the goalkeepers had some magnificent saves, I felt that Celtic might just have been that little bit sharp in front of goals.
That was sharpness by Ibrahim Hassan. Ball has run for a throw, which I think should go to Celtic. The referee doesn't agree, though. They appear to be somewhat hesitant about that. He's given the throw to Neuchatel. Mortier closed out there by Mark McNally. Well, he's disappointed with the clearance. McNally made his debut for Celtic exactly a year ago today. This is his first anniversary. His first team debut. And it's the first year I think he can, generally speaking, Billy, be quite happy about.
Well, I don't think anyone can criticise the display we've had from Celtic. They really have shown their appetite this second half. It's just a pity we didn't get that early goal, because the early goal might have unsettled Neuchatel. Instead, Charlie Smith gave them the opportunity to bed in.
Headed on there finds Nicholas. And some very busy beavering again by Ibrahim Hassan. Gets the ball to safety. There's Joe Miller's cross. They lie underneath that. It's a very comfortable catch for the keeper. So we're in the final minute of the match. So it's all about pride now for Celtic, if they can snatch another goal. Well, I think if anyone had said that Celtic would have had the chances they've had tonight before the match, I'm sure they'd have settled for that and expected to save the tie. Combination of bad finishing and good goalkeeping.
Certainly had the chances, there's no doubt whatsoever about that. We've seen a magnificent display of goalkeeping. Equally, we've seen a lot of pride and determination from a Swiss side who just won't give in.
A challenge there on Fazel and Cascarino. Cascarino again, trying to drag the ball away from two defenders. Little Alain Vernier, who played right back in the first match, has had a fine game wide on the right side of the midfield for Neuchatel tonight. There's Coyne. Collins stopped in his tracks by Perret. The referee is checking his watch, and enough is enough, says the referee. Neuchatel Xamax go through. Well, on the aggregate score it looks to be comfortable, but on the evidence of tonight's match, I'm sure they'll be the first to accept that it was a hazardous journey to Glasgow. There's applause from the Celtic supporters who have remained loyal right from the start of the match, and Celtic will be regretting a number of missed chances, but they realise they faced a top-class young goalkeeper in Florent Delay. He had a series of superb saves at crucial times in the game, but at the same time he also had a Celtic strike force which was out of luck in front of goal, which couldn't find the net when they had some glaring opportunities, and they'll be looking back at that penalty missed by Charlie Nicholas in 4 minutes as the moment when indeed the time may eventually have been lost. So Nicholas, so disappointed, goes in. He worked so hard from that point on, but Billy, at the end of the day, Celtic couldn't take the chances, and Neuchatel appear to be worthy winners.
Well, that's right. They did have the chances. They easily could have had the result they wanted, but they allowed the chances to fritter away, and at the end of the day we're left with what might have been.
So disappointment here at Celtic Park. They won by 1-0. Joe Miller got the goal early in the second half. It wasn't enough. Neuchatel Xamax go through by 5-2 in aggregate.